So picture this. You're at your laptop, you accidentally hit delete on a thing that you don't usually hit delete on, and you have no idea how to restore it. That happened to me recently, and I cannot tell you how embarrassing it was. I run an AI channel. You would think I would know how to fix these little things, but no. And that's not surprising because there's so much software that we all run on a daily basis now. We can't all know everything. We all have our blind spots. You might be an expert in Finder, but not know anything about how to change your monitor settings. You might know everything there is to know about your editing tool, but you're completely blind as to how to change your system password. There's areas of things that we really understand well, and then there's entire sectors of our computers that we don't understand at all. The thing that got me, I was working on some project, I was in my downloads folder, and somehow I accidentally bumped my trackpad a couple of times, and my downloads folder was gone. Oh, well, shoot, I kind of use that. Now, can I Google this? Yes, it's super simple to Google, but then it's, you're following the breadcrumb trail. Go to this menu, go here, click this, find this setting, check this box. And it's just irritating. And while this particular thing is kind of a one-off, this kind of thing happens all the time, right? There's something that you think you know how to go change, but they've maybe moved the menu. There's something you don't know how to change, but you feel like you should because it shouldn't be that hard, right? Those are the kind of everyday irritants that just get in the way of the work that you're actually trying to do. And it dawned on me, there is a better way. I don't know where all of these settings are, but there is something that does, and that's Codex. So if you're not familiar with Codex, this is OpenAI's desktop application. Initially, it was for coding, thus the name Codex, but its uses have recently expanded way beyond coding, partly because it can interact directly with your computer. So if you've ever used something like Claude Cowork, you know how kind of amazing it is when you can use your favorite chat system to interact directly with your computer. And Codex goes a step further because it can actually use your computer with your permission. And if that sounds scary to you, maybe you've heard some of these apocryphal stories about what agents can do when left unattended on people's computers. It really isn't that scary. I'll show you that in a minute. So it is worth saying Codex is only available to users with a paid subscription to ChatGPT. Once you've installed their desktop app, this is what it looks like. So you'll just want to come in and say new chat. And down here, it's going to ask you what project you want to work in. For the purposes of today's discussion, we don't need to work in a project. We just need to use Codex to help us use the computer. In fact, to help us fix the computer. So the easiest thing to do is explain your problem to ChatGPT and tell it to use the computer. I just accidentally deleted my downloads folder from Finder. Can you use the computer and put that back for me? So it's going to get to work. The first thing it's doing here, it's going to check to make sure I didn't accidentally delete the downloads folder, like off of the computer. Good news, I didn't do that. I just can't see it in Finder anymore. The good news is what this is saying is if I had accidentally deleted it, it would try to restore it for you. It would check my trash or archives or wherever it is that those things go when they disappear. So that could be really useful in a pinch as well. The next part that you'll notice down here is it's going to ask for permission. So before it does anything that you haven't already given it permission to do, it's going to say, am I allowed to do this? I'm going to say yes, because that is exactly what I just asked it to do. It verifies that Finder's sidebar is missing downloads, but the actual folder still exists. Now it's running my computer right now. I'm not doing anything. It's clicking to make sure it can find things and put things back where they belong. Again, I'm not doing that. It found the downloads folder and it's clicking to drag it back in. And just like that, it added it back in. It clicked on it to verify that it was still full of content. Now, I will say the really interesting thing about this, because I recreated the thing that I did in the past, The first time it fixed it, it did it a completely different way. It went to the Finder settings and found the correct menu and just checked a box to say, show downloads in Finder for me. And because I was able to watch it walk through both options, I now know 2 different ways to add the folder back into Finder if this ever happens to me again. Now, how likely is it that this will happen to me again? Pretty unlikely. And that's kind of the point. Because you can watch it running, you're sort of learning along with it if you care. If the menus change in the future, it doesn't matter because I can always ask Codex to restore whatever I accidentally did in the future. It's sort of the modern version of if you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. If you teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. This is kind of the fishing pole. Honestly, I now can go into Codex and just say, I did this thing. I don't know how to do this thing. Can you help me? Can you show me? Can you go do this thing for me? All those little irritants that pop up on your computer, those things can now just be dealt with in a matter of minutes just by asking Codex to go fix the thing that's been bugging you. So while I can't say that this is a life-changing use of AI, this is one of those things that's just a small quality of life improvement that's kind of amazing. So if you have a subscription to ChatGPT, I highly recommend you go download the Codex desktop app and just ask it to fix those little irritants on your computer. Hopefully it can make a really big difference in your day-to-day life. All right, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.